Hi there, welcome to this live broadcast brought to you by ADSRsounds.com. I'm going to be your host for the next 30, maybe 45 minutes, Jonny Strinati. So, this is the first broadcast we've done like this, so bear with us. There might be one or two technical glitches. I'm hoping you can hear me okay at the moment and can see. I've got a Logic Pro X opened in front of me. So, today we're going to be taking a look at some new sound packs that have been released this week on ADSRsounds.com. Some kind of synth patches, some audio and stuff, some massive kind of sounds, some silent sounds, some really nice stuff to get stuck into. So I'm going to take a look at these and just have a go at building some kind of some loops. I'm going to start off with something a bit more kind of EDM, sort of progressive focused, and then look at a kind of deep house pack later on. So I thought I'd mention as well at the start we've got ADSR just brought out a new course, a brand new course, a music theory course. So you can go to musictheorytuts.com. It's a free 10 video series all about music theory. Great if you just want to get into, you don't know much about the kind of theory behind music, you're into electronic music and you just want to understand a little bit more about keys and scales and stuff like that. It's a really good thing to get stuck into. We've got a banner actually here I can bring up for you, show you the banner here. Okay, there we go, the ADSR Music Theory free 10 video series, musictheorytuts.com. So check that out if you want to get more into some music theory stuff. Let's switch back to Logic here. And also today we're going to be giving out a promo code, a discount code, 10% discount at the adsrsounds.com site. So keep watching. So I'm going to give that code out in a bit. I'm going to get stuck into some sounds first, give out that code. That code will be live for 24 hours. So once you get that code, you can go to the adsrsounds.com website. 10% discount on all the sounds on there, which is a pretty awesome deal to be fair. So keep watching for that. So let's get started here and have a look at, got this House for Silent Volume 3 by a label called Sounds and MIDI. So they've got some cool kind of sound packs going on at the moment. So we're getting stuck into this. It's a Silent sound bank. So I've got a instance of Silent loaded up here. And I've got some glitching audio as well, which is a little bit annoying. Just bear with me 1 second. Okay, should be back now. Okay. Right then. So let's look at this sound bank we've got in here. It's low bank in here in Silent, and I'm going to navigate to the sound bank. I've got it on my desktop here. It's ADSR packs. Here we go. House for Silent Volume 3. Load this up, and you get a really good deal for this pack. You know, there's like 128 sounds in here. It's quite a lot for a sound bank, really. And there's loads of other stuff as well. If I just close this. Where has it gone? Oh. Okay, I can't find. Yes, ADSR packs. Alright, House of Silent Volume 3. So you also get this folder of MIDI files as well. So I'm going to get stuck into some of these MIDI files. So let's have a look at this Silent bank here. So we've got some nice ARPs in there. And what I like what they've done with this bank is they've made full use of as much use as they can of the miscellaneous slots in Silent. So we've got stuff like velocity and mod wheel assignments in here, assigned to like cut off and stuff like that. So just so you can start, it's the miscellaneous slots in Silent for a bit like the macro slots in Massive. So you can use them to start tweaking your sounds and whatnot. So really nice key sounds. These leads are just big room leads, really. You know, they're just really making good use of what Silent's great at, is just, you know, really kind of uplifting sort of electronic sounds. We've got some gated stuff. That's really cool. Loads of bass sounds, pads. You know, there's loads of stuff in there. So I want to start off, and some of these leads are great. So start with this mega lead. It's just a big sound. So let's have a look at this mega lead. It's a really nice sound, that. So what I'm going to do is load up one of the MIDI files from this same pack and just use that sound, use a MIDI file to trigger that sound. So let's get our MIDI files back up here. Okay, so I'm going to go for one of these MIDI files, maybe one of the lead MIDI files, something like this here. Drag this into our arrange, and let's turn this down a little bit and turn the voice up. So maybe just boost this tempo up there to the 28. So you've got a hook there already. It's a really nice kind of uplifting chords. So I duplicate that instance, and I'm going to look for a bass sound to complement those leads. So what I'm going to do is here, just copy over that the kind of synth sound we had there, maybe mute it for now, and I've duplicated the right, Soundflower is what we're using for this broadcast, and it's a little bit temperamental, so you have to bear with us. It kind of glitches out every now and again, and you have to reboot the whole thing. So I've duplicated that MIDI file over. That lead sound was chords. I'm going to make a bass sound here, so I'm muting all the high notes, and I'm just going to keep all these low notes here, and look at this other instance of Silent. So this is to complement the lead sound that we had there. So I'm going to look for a bass sound in here, and let's have a look at these. Get into the bass sounds. That's pretty nice. And we could automate that cutoff frequency. So let's bring the lead back in. Loop over the whole part. Got a bit of an anthem on our hands already here, to be fair. Let's load up Machine now, because I want to look at some of the other banks that are coming out this week on or out already actually on ADSRsounds.com. So I'll load up an instance of Machine here, close Silent down, and let's have a look here at, go to my desktop, ADSR packs, SOR prime kicks. So we've got, this is a pack just kind of kick drum sounds, but some really nicely produced kick drum sounds, and like we've got some nice sort of folders here, so just gives us a bit of insight into, you know, what kind of kicks that we're going to be having in here. So top and verb, we can audition the sounds here. It's a bit loud. So they're just like transients really, you know, like they're the kind of sort of top bits of your drums. We've got an analog folder. So these will be really warm, beefy kind of sounds. You know, they'll be good for house and techno, those ones. So what else we got in here? Breakbeat, some breakbeat kick drums. You know, so there may be more for your kind of dubstep, D&B styles. So it was a really versatile pack. And it gets stuck into this folder here, the layered ones, because I quite like some of these. And I thought some of these kick drums had a really nice sort of transient, really nice punch to them. And if we're building that loop, we want something to complement those kind of EDM sort of sounds. We want something really nice and punchy with a nice click. So what we can do here in Machine, I'm just going to just quickly program in a basic 4x4 kick drum here. And look, what I'm going to do is just flick through some of these different layered hits and just find a hit to kind of complement the kind of loop we've got going so far. So see something like that there, just so solo lips. Oh dear. Soundflower. Okay. Okay, so that's sounding pretty nice. Let's go back in here, have a look at another pack here, this Melbourne Anthems pack. So I'm going to look at the, you get some massive patches in this pack, but I'm going to look at some of the drum samples in here and just look at some, maybe some kind of, bring some tops into this beat that we've got going on. So let's look at these drum samples. So some nice claps, some snares, some hi-hats. So let's build some tops to add to this loop. So let's program in some clap. Maybe take the volume of that clap down. Double that loop. Do a little trick, maybe just bring that clap over the final clap of the bar into this second slot here. Add a bit of reverb in there. That's pretty cool. It's a bit of a fill. Look at some hats. So let's go into sound 4 slot and just program some kind of offbeat hi-hats really. Look at some of these hi-hats. So, you know, these drum sounds are really nice clean hits. I reckon these will be processed with some nice kind of warmth, you know, some analog processors and stuff, whether they're kept inside the box or use some external units, I'm not sure, but they all sound really nicely produced, these hits. So that's a bit of a kind of open hat. It's providing quite a nice bit of groove to this loop. Let's get into some 16ths now. that, and then just again edit the envelope, take off the transient, the attack. So straight away, just loading in some of those hits from some of those packs, we've got this quite nice sort of beat together here. I'm going to go back to these silent sounds and maybe just look for another sound to complement it, because I noticed in the silent bank, the sounds and MIDI kind of house sounds for silent. Well, we've got quite a nice selection of ARP sounds in here to look at. So let's have a look at this MIDI file here, and I think we're in the key of E here, so I'm just going to draw, kind of drag out a sort of an E note, so create a note in here. There we go. Just copy that part over, and then let's have a look at some of these arpeggiator sounds in here. Sounds pretty nice. Look at some of these 303 sounds. You can see, just like when you've got arpeggiator sounds, you can just drop in a sustained note and it just provides that sort of rhythmic kind of melodic inspiration for something like that. And this pack does a really great job of just having these kind of sequenced arpeggiator and gate sounds. So something like pretty nice. Of course, we want to EQ that sound. Nice squelchy acid sound. And then if I wanted to go ahead and mute that kick drum, bring in this. You can see how quickly we can just start chucking in some of those MIDI files, loading up some of these sounds from some of these banks, and just get a pretty cool loop going, really. So yeah, the sounds and MIDI house for silent banks, pretty nice. That Melbourne bounce pack, again, the drum sounds really nicely done, and the SOR kick drums pack as well. They're all available on ADSRsounds.com. Yeah, go and check them out. I mean, you get like the audio demo on there as well, so you can have a really good listen to, sort of, as well as what you've seen this evening. It's really good kind of demo, just demonstration of all the sounds you've got in there. So I'm going to give out the discount code now for which will give you a 10% discount on the ADSR Sounds website for the next 24 hours. So start this screen share, so you should have that on the screen now. 10% discount code. Use that code that you can see there, adsrsounds.com. You're going to get 10% discount on all, the banks that we've been looking at this evening. So yeah, and that's live for 24 hours. So make a note of that code, and yeah, and just go and have a look around. So let's get stuck into some more sounds now, and go back to Logic. To my desktop. So yeah, you should have Logic kind of arranged in there. So let's get rid of those sounds as well. And one thing I want to look at now is the some of the massive sounds in the Melbourne. Quit that for now. The Melbourne bounce pack. So Melbourne bounce. It's obviously becoming a very popular sort of sound, really. I suppose it's got its roots in sort of a combination of like EDM and sort of Moombahton, really. So, and these guys, that's the Tunecraft Bank. We'll be looking at that in a bit. Melbourne anthems. Here we go. So, awesome sounds in here. They've let's load up some of these bass sounds. Yeah. Drop it down an octave. Stuff like that. That's an awesome little bass sound there. Like a bass sound with a really nice transient on it. You can see here as well, if I load up some of these sounds here, see the macro section down there, stuff like that. That's awesome. You know, they've made a really good kind of really good use of these macro controls here. Every single sound, I think, you've got all eight macros assigned to sort of various different things. So talking leads, you know, classic sort of stuff, really. So let's load in a bass sound here and just quickly use, because what we get with this Melbourne bounce pack is we get the drum sounds that we had a look at before, we get the massive patches, and we also get some MIDI files. So there's quite a few things on offer in this pack. So load up a bass sound, bass number 2. So that's a really nice bass sound. Okay. Alright, so let's have a look at some MIDI files here. So, and what I really like about this pack is if we get into this Melbourne Anthems here, volume 1, and look, this bonus folder here, we've got the drum samples, got some effect sounds in there as well, acapellas, I mean
across our world.
Good vocal samples are quite hard to come by, so you've got some really cool sort of
Fire underneath this bed and nail.
some nice sort of vocal samples in there, and these MIDI files as well. What they've done here is they've key labeled all the MIDI files so we can quickly start building a loop. So let's say if we wanted to start building, just to take one of these sounds, these MIDI files here. So the bass sounds, okay, bass 15, E minor. So we're going to be creating a loop in E minor. So drag that MIDI file into our arrange. Let's unmute machine. So got a bit of a beat going. Maybe even drop this an octave. Sounds quite nice down there. And let's just duplicate massive, and in this let's load up a lead sound to complement that bass. So maybe one of these leads. That should sound quite nice on top of that bass. And what I'm going to do here is look at one of these lead sounds that's also in the key of E minor, because remember that bass 15 is E minor. So let's have a look down here. Something that's in E minor. E double down E minor. So there you go, that's in E minor there. So let's drop that in, and that should fit on top of the bass sound. So that's pretty nice. So just how quickly, you can just start getting a really cool loop going with these sounds. And I'm going to duplicate it again here and load in maybe one of those talking leads. So let's load in, make sure we're on the right sound. Yeah, let's load up one of the talking leads here, so into this talking lead section, because this is where the kind of Melbourne bounce is, that kind of really sort of pitched up kind of. This is what the kind of section of the Melbourne bounce sound that sort of really lends quite a lot from Moobaton, Moobacore sort of styles. So something like that's quite soft, isn't it? It's got a really nice sort of top end to it. So, and then again, let's load up another MIDI file and drop that in there. One of the talking MIDI files. There we go. Talking 01 E minor. So staying in the E minor key here. Mute that lead for now. So it's classic sort of Melbourne bounce stuff. Drop that maybe. So straight away, awesome sounds, great MIDI files to complement those sounds to go along with them, awesome drum sounds. So another thing I liked about that pack was the I'll go into open here and navigate to that pack very quickly. Is you get the Logic Pro, the Melbourne demo. You get the actual sort of Logic project. So just say. Yeah, let's have a look at this new pack from Tunecraft. Right then. Yeah, Tunecraft Deep House. So Deep House Elements. This is available now on ADSRsounds.com, and you get a combination here really of we've got some tops loops. And there we get a selection of loops at 122 BPM and then the same set of loops at 127, which is nice if you're going to start stretching stuff. You're only going to, depending on the tempo of your project, you could only going to have to stretch it by a couple of BPM because they've kind of presented loops in two different tempos. So and you get some nice, really nice sort of tops loops in here. We've got the massive patches, the deep house massive patches come with this pack, and we get MIDI files as well, which is a really nice touch. So, and also I don't have Ableton, so I can't load up this demo project unfortunately, but you get the Ableton project that was used in the demo. So again, hands-on stuff. What I am going to start having a little look at is all the hits that they've used in this Ableton demo project as well come in here. So I noticed there was some really nice kind of drum hits in here. So really nice warm kick drum there. This short kick's pretty nice, I think. There we go. Nice sort of punchy kick drum. So let's load that into our range. Zoom in a bit here. Let's start putting together a bit of a deep house loop with some of these sounds. So let's duplicate this kick drum over really, and that'll do for. And let's drop the tempo down to 122. So let's have a look at some of those tops loops that they had in there as well, and just find some kind of tops loops to complement what we have with the kick drum that we've got there. So nice, just like stuff like that. It's just really nice, nice little percussion loops. Load that in there. That's quite nice. And put some other kind of just put a couple of tops loops in, and then just get a bit of a sort of beat going really. So what's this sounding like? That's quite nice, nicely produced, nice clean sort of sound in there. Really nice sort of groove to the loops, really nice shuffle on there. And let's load in one more kind of loop here. Yeah, loading that, and I'm going to chop out some of these hits, I think. Let's maybe just duplicate the second bar that we've got here. But these tops, just so I'm kind of dropping the bottom end out of these loops here, so just cleaning them. And so yeah, straight away we've just chucked a couple of top loops in there, one of the kick drums from the Ableton project, and we've got a nice little loop going. And what I want to do now is have a look at some of the massive patches included in this deep house pack, because they're pretty nice actually. So we'll go in here, load up massive, and I've installed the pack already, so it comes up in here, Tunecraft Deep House. So they've done some EDM packs actually, Tunecraft, that are also really nice. They're available on ADSRsounds.com, but this one's just been released, this Deep House one, and yeah, we've got some bass sounds in here. Stuff like that, just really warm kind of deep house bass. That's a great sound, that. Some key sounds, so you know, set up for you to play some chords. Some plucks. Classic sort of deep house chord, that, isn't it? Some sequence sounds. Just turn the volume down there a little bit. So again, you got loads of sounds in here. So you get loads of stuff with this pack. You know, you get the MIDI files, you get the audio loops, the hits, the Ableton project, the synth sounds, the massive patches. So loads of nice stuff. So let's load up a bass sound here. Maybe one of these. Something like that's pretty cool. Like a sub sound there. Go for deep bass 6. And let's drop in one of the MIDI files that comes in with the pack here. So this is Finder. Go to these MIDI clips here. Let's chuck in one of these bass riffs. Duplicate these tops loops. Just top and tail that. Nice little bass fill there. So let's just quickly duplicate this over. I've duplicated that instance of massive, and find like a chord sound, like a classic sort of deep house chord sound to complement that bass. So that's great sound, that. Take the reverb down. Again with these sounds actually, I point out Tunecraft have done a great job of just macroing everything up, so you can just get in with these sounds and just start tweaking them, making some sound on your own just very quickly with these macros. So back that attack off. We'll sharpen it up, sorry. Let's bring some of the hi-hats back in from that instance of the machine that we had earlier. Meet the kick maybe. Quite a nice deep house loop going already, you know, and let's look at one of the sequence sounds as well. Just provide a bit more sort of groove to this loop. So look at this MIDI file, and I think this MIDI file that we had there is going to be in B. So I'm just going to sort of drag out a B note here. And yeah, look at one of the sequence sounds from this massive bank. Okay, so loading this sequence now. Straight away, that first sequence sound. We can have a flick through some of the other ones. That sounds pretty nice as well. And go with deep sequence 1. Straight away, just very quickly, we've just put together some of those massive sounds and some of the audio, and we just got a nice loop together very quickly. You know, we looked at creating 3 different loops in the last 30-45 minutes. So that's when you get really good quality sound banks. That's how quickly you can get sounds together, and you get very inspired by some of these sounds, you know, and just start loading stuff together, making it sound your own, chopping it up. So I hope you've enjoyed this broadcast. Now that kind of brings us to the end, really. Kind of gone through the new packs some of the new packs that released this week on ADSRsounds.com. Remember that code. I'll share it with you again now. So just bear with me 1 second. So that's the 10% discount. Use that code that you can see there. ADSRsounds.com, of course. Go to the site, use the code, you get a 10% discount. That lasts for the next 24 hours. So so yeah, I mean, just go and check out some of the packs we've got. New releases this week. Obviously we've discussed quite a few of those tonight. And I'll also do another mention here, the music theory course that is available, musictheorytuts.com, and that's music theory kind of geared towards electronic music production, music theory based around electronic music production. So really useful, you know, if you're not too up on your kind of theory side of stuff. Like myself, I've kind of come from a DJ background, so stuff like that is great for me, you know, understanding chords and keys and scales and stuff like that. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this broadcast. It's not been without its technical kind of issues. Soundflower sort of like glitched out once or twice, but hopefully you've heard me okay throughout, and also you've got a good idea of some of the new sounds that are available this week on ADSRsounds.com. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed that, and yeah, we're going to be doing this on a regular basis. So keep tuned. You know, we'll streamline it a little bit, and it's only going to improve from the first couple of broadcasts. So any feedback, you know, stuff you'd like us to have a look at in some of these live broadcasts, just let us know. Alright, cheers guys, and I'll see you soon.